right, so welcome to my first video here at Shoot, Film, Move, and Communicate. I have another YouTube channel, but I concentrate on other things. This is going to be the channel I use to talk about the actual process itself, because I really enjoy the process itself. Now, recently, I became, and apparently I'm one of the lucky ones, I became one of the few that actually managed to get a hold of a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. And let's see, I think I got that around about April, and here we are it's September now, but in August, of course, we debuted the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. So my question becomes, do I need to get the 6K? Would that be actually an upgrade for me? Would this be something that I need to even think about considering? I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't mind buying a few things. Like right now I'm using the Saramonic Blink 500 mic system, which is a new mic system. There's others out there like the Rode VideoMic Go that is, equal with the small form factor, but the problem is that you only have one, and Saramonic gives you a dual system, a dual transmitter system, for just about $50 more than the VideoMic Go does. So I don't mind spending money on that or lights or something. I mean, like with my primary light, it's a Godox. It's not the Aperture 120D. I've heard people say it's blinking or something, or the light is blinking at you. I've never found that to be the case. I don't plan on using a light like that outdoors. If I do need to shoot outdoors, I'll just buy the Aperture 120D when the time comes. But most of the time when we're talking cameras, I try to resist being that early adopter. Such is the way of video, where you got to do things over and over again. But at least we looked at it to check things out. So this is my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K setup. I'm using the small rig cage. Everything on it for the most part is small rig, with the exception of the Indy Pro V-mount plate. And which brings us to the dilemma of Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras, period. In order to make them work, especially the upgraded version, which my whole thing about this is the shape. And I think the shape has to do with the fact that it has this really nice screen on the back that handles the menus and everything else. And, anybody can manipulate this menu. If you know anything at all about video, if you can look at a video on YouTube about it, you can figure out this menu. So my theory is the reason this camera is this shape is because of that really nice screen, that touch screen, the functionality, the buttons, everything about the camera is all laid out right there. But it also brings up the inevitability, which I tried to escape. I didn't want to run it with a cage. But I needed a cage, so I had to get a cage. So I got a cage. Then I didn't want to run it with rods, so for my battery, I got the Core SWX Edge, which is a really nice battery, and it is also it's rather versatile, because if I don't want it to be on a V-mount, I can actually mount it directly to the bottom of the camera and pop it on and off that way. So that comes in. I get about 3 hours out of that. The inevitability, though, is that you're going to need an external monitor, an SSD of some sort, and an external battery source. Because external monitor, this monitor does not articulate. You've already heard that, right? You've already heard that. It does not articulate. And the onboard, the CFast card, the SD card, that's not nearly as robust as an SSD. And the LP6 battery is, in this particular application with 4K, is downright anemic. So the V-mount battery makes pretty good sense, or the gold mount, whichever one you opt for. The reason I'm asking this question, though, is with the 6K. Do I need the 6K? is, do I want to duplicate all of that? Do I want to duplicate that setup? It's not so much that I don't like the setup, but I mean, you're getting out there, when you're talking about the camera, you know, the 4K, $12.95. Okay, so then you got to have a lens. I opted for native lenses with this because I didn't want to go the Metabone speed booster route. So, you know, at that point, depending on which lens you have, this is the SLR Magic Cine 25mm t.95. That's about $500. Over there is the Panasonic Lumix 12-60. I think it's the Leica one. It's $800. So either way, you're at $1,100 or you're at $1,800 just for the camera and the lens. Then you got to have the media. And the media, the CFast cards and everything else are much more expensive than the SSD, but then you got to find a way to mount the SSD on the camera, which it has one mounting point on top and one mounting point on bottom. So then you got to have and you get what I'm saying. Every time you're trying to solve one issue, there's another issue that comes up. So this is a cinema camera, and this is, you know, I don't even have an audio solution on here. I've started shooting my audio externally. Today I'm shooting with the Saramonic Blink 500. But like I said, do I need the 6K? That's a really interesting question. Now, I got ready to order it last week. And then I thought about it. And first the thing, you know, at 6K, if I really want to get a 6K camera, there's other things I could do. I could go with the Panasonic GH5, which has 6K anamorphic, which you can just use a regular lens with that, and you're not getting the benefit of the anamorphic, but I've used that before. I think it comes out in a 4:3 ratio. You're going to have to crop into it to get it to 16:9, and then you have that down-sampled 6K to 4K. In addition to that, you have much more reliable autofocus, which this does have autofocus. It works with an autofocus native lens. I haven't tried it with an adapted lens, but it does work once initially, and then if you start trying to refocus, it becomes an issue. So there's, you know, there's pros and cons to everything, but do I need 6K? The short answer to that is no, I don't need 6K. I don't need 6K right now. Nobody has 4K TVs. I just got a 4K TV the other day, and well, actually back in April, but only now is 4K coming out and just becoming out there available to the masses. And that's going to be the standard for a while. I've heard that there's 8K televisions out there, which I don't know how much they cost. I'm sure about as much as a car. But what I would probably do, because see, here's the problem. I want to shoot video other than the video I'm shooting right now. I really enjoy shooting video. And having a cinema camera that has the features that this one has is really head and shoulders above most other things I use. I'm shooting right now on the Sony A7 III. Sony A7 III has its strengths despite the other cameras that have come out that have tried to get into this niche of the camera that does it all. Still, Sony still manages to, it's still in the fight. And how old is it now? They've already come out with the 4 series on the A7Rs. So this is holding it together. I don't know. I don't know if I don't believe I need the 6K, but I may try it. I may get it. I may run it. And if I don't see something just, you know, categorically better, besides the 6K, which is going to be in Blackmagic RAW only. It's not going to be in ProRes. I don't really like shooting in ProRes. I like the RAW. But I have shot in ProRes extensively. I have an Atomos Ninja 5 that I used to plug up to the Sonys, and it makes it a whole different camera. It's a whole different camera with that in there. So, but this is just my thoughts. I don't think anyone needs the 6K. Having said that, I may try the 6K. So this is the first video of this channel. Whoever is, I don't have a single subscriber right this moment, so whoever is the first subscriber, I'm going to remember you, pal. Nothing to offer you or anything else, except I've got a lot of content that's going to come with this, and you know, I'd appreciate it if you would give me a like, maybe subscribe, and I'll talk to you the next time.